Welcome to the Public Speaking Experts Podcast with Elliot K. and Jose Ucar. Every week we bring the tips, tools, and strategies for you to become a world-class public speaker. We bring you guests, experts, and authorities in the field of public speaking to enrich you and enhance your public speaking journey. Remember to subscribe, rate, and comment. And now, please welcome your hosts, Elliot and Jose.
What?
My name is what? My name is what? My name is Elliot K and Jose. So we're gonna start this over again.
Are we
Sorry.
right?
Oh what?
No.
Oh, are we not? Okay, no, we're not. So we're not. So people, how was that? My name is what? My name is what? My name is Jose. No, sorry, I messed it up. I meant even worse. Welcome to the Public Speaking Experts Podcast. Move on, people. Move on quickly. Remember that the previous didn't happen, and let's get on with it. How are you all doing? Listening to the Public Speaking Experts Podcast, another epic episode. And today, Elliot, Before anything, I want to talk enough so people just forget about what happened and remember the new stuff that is coming up next.
The fact that you sounded like you almost did a poo while you were singing.
No. Oh, goodness me. I cannot believe you said that. No, I was just going to go like, my name is what? I'm not going to say it again. So, my name is...
This is terrible.
Oh, goodness me.
This is
okay.
awful. I mean, this is so good. It's really interesting because, every now and then I do a quality check and I listen to our podcast. I don't know about you, but I do. And it's really weird because I find myself laughing at ourselves, and it's very rarely that I laugh at my own joke. But actually, we're quite funny, Jose. We are.
You know what?
Anyway, it'd be interesting to think what people think, but I think we're funny. Do you think we're funny?
I think we're funny because I'm always laughing, smiling, and everything else. And I think, you know what the fire test is going to be? Do you have such thing as a fire test?
It depends what you mean by fire test.
Well, fire test, as in, the proof of fire or something like that. I'm translating it from Spanish, by the way. So
tell me about the fire test.
Well, the fire test is going to be, I'm going to share this episode with my wife, Anna. And
this episode?
This episode, just to see. Because, listen carefully, if she doesn't, listen carefully again, people. If she doesn't laugh, then we will know this is like the real deal. Because she doesn't laugh. She doesn't laugh at any of my jokes. She says that I'm full of daddy jokes and I haven't got children with her yet.
Wait, have you considered
things like that,
you're just not funny?
No, that's why I'm calling it the fire test. So that's it. I want to believe I'm funny because I'm laughing. Believe it or not, I do listen to some of the episodes and I find myself engaging with the content and with the banter.
Yeah, and then I was sitting there the other day listening while I was and I literally was like, and like that's laughter, not farting. That's
exactly. But then I'm sure if I give it to my wife Anna, she's probably gonna go, you guys are so silly. And then I think that's gonna be good for that's a good test. The fire test.
The fire test. All right.
But people, let us know if you don't find us funny. If you don't find us funny, then come to our place and we'll show you how funny we are.
That just doesn't sound right either.
Yeah, it was too much. Okay. Yeah. Well,
cool.
Drop us a message.
I think the reason we're having this conversation is because it leads beautifully onto what we're going to talk about today. We're talking about how to form powerful partnerships. And I think that's a really important aspect when you're podcasting, even when you're on stage, when you're looking for business partnerships. So what would you say, Jose? Like what I did there, what would you say, Jose? Let's just jump straight into it. What makes a good, powerful partnership?
Well, I'm going to go.
Right.
Specifically,
what makes a powerful partnership? Go.
A good banter. And this is the case. Good banter is the case for the two of us. For partnerships, what makes a good partnership? Be creative. The two parts or the different parts involved in the partnership, get creative. Be tolerant. Be open. Be curious about the other person. Listen. And sometimes, yes, argue about something you don't believe in or whatever it is, but then create that environment where all of these elements are possible. Those would be my main points at this point.
Well,
my main point at this
trust, point. Right? You got to
absolutely.
If you ain't got trust, you ain't got nothing. I think strong communication is really important as well, right? Because if you don't communicate well, then how are you going to do it? And I think the other thing is you honor each other's madness. um or however you want to frame it.
Hmm.
I think that's really important, because if you don't honor each other's ability to express, or own each other's honor each other's madness, or give the other person the space to be who they are, then you start to try and mold them or clip them. And that's where I think resentment kicks in. That's where I feel that the other person doesn't express themselves. That's when I feel that toxicity um, comes into the partnership.
Very, very good points, Elliot. And yes, I agree. There is something else based on our relationship. Be willing to invest and nurture the relationship in different ways. For example, little things or big things, as just sending a present to each other. Elliot, sent me a birthday present. I've given him a little pin for his jacket. Maybe he will get something in Christmas. Nurture the relationship in every way. Make sacrifices for each other. Support, each other till the end, within reason, of course. I don't want anyone to die here. But then, for example, we are always on top of things. We are communicating every day. We are running a daily show. We run the Public Speaking Experts podcast weekly. We're creating 3, 4, even 5 episodes sometimes. So be willing to invest in the relationship. Be vulnerable. I think it is something very important as well, which leads nicely with what Elliot said, building trust and everything else. Learn from each other. Be open to learn from each other. I think that's key. And know where you stand. And when you don't know where you stand, have a conversation. Look, this is what I think is happening. So having that open dialogue, I think it is super important. And Elliot, one more, have fun for the sake of it. Have some fun.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Because when you and I got together, and even though people refer to us as a clubhouse husband and husband, um, the key thing that really drew us to start doing stuff together was the fun element. And even I remember you saying, and you'll learn to love and hate this about me, because I remember what people say. My wife hates it because I remember pretty much when they say things, how they say things, which is very handy in a marriage, because I'm like, no, 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 you said this. No, I didn't. No, 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 you did. Let me remind you, we were here, here, here. Oh, yeah, that's right. I did say that. One thing you said to me is you said you have tested or tried other partnerships, but it's never been as much fun. And we do have a lot of fun, and there's a lot of banter. And you can see that in the recordings. Yes, and even now when we connect with people we don't know, they want to come on the podcast. I'm like, look, I just want to let you know there's quite a bit of banter that goes on. It's always professional, right? And they're like, yeah, man, I love it, love it. And some people won't, and that's okay. But the one thing I remember you saying was how much fun we had. And then we built from there. And I think what's interesting is often when people build from fun, it can fall apart because the buzz goes away. So then you need to find ways to keep the buzz, to keep the relationship, to nourish it. Because again, some people meet, let's say, at business conferences, and like, oh my God, they're all hyped. Like, yeah, I've got this idea. They've got the can-do attitude. They've got this buzz. And then the buzz goes away. And the reality is now you're in partnership with someone you don't really know. You might not really trust, and things like that. So I think what's important is there's got to be fundamentally a deeper vision and connection. And I think, yes, while we have fun and that's what drew us together, ultimately we have a shared desire to empower people to not only be great speakers, but to
speak their greatness.
Right. And I think that's underneath it all is what unifies us. And that's why we've been showing up and done over 150, episodes on Clubhouse now. That's why we're pretty much heading towards the 40s when it comes with our, podcast recording, and it only launched 2 months ago. Right. So as the time we're recording this. So by the time you actually hear this, we'll probably be further down the line. And it's got to be fundamentally something that keeps you. And I know at times we've never had, I suppose, not needed to, but at times I'm sure I've irritated Jose here and there, especially when I disagree on designs of things and stuff like that. But when you're part of the bigger picture and you know it's for something greater, either you express yourselves and say, look, hey, this isn't working for me, here's why, or you understand that some people are just pickier than others and you accept that. Now, I'm not saying you compromise or you change who you are. That's not what I'm saying. But when it's part of something bigger and greater. And I think actually, if we talk about this very openly, I'm referring to the designs of the podcast, right? And I know you kept sending me stuff. I was like, no, it's not it. It's not it. It's not it. Send me this. Send me what you want. And I'm like, well, this is what I got to look like. I don't know what I want. I'm not the creative here.
He was
And we
getting
had
on
that.
my nerves.
I know I was, but we landed somewhere really beautiful, right? I feel. And I think that's where we have to be aware of where's it going. And I think the moment you're not in sync where you're going, that's when things fall apart.
Yeah, great
Big
point.
time.
And also this where we're going can evolve. And if it's
Right.
not evolving together, then have that conversation. The sooner the better, because then you can decide, yes, let's readapt, or you decide to fall apart, and that's also okay. So be mindful of that. I want to address, Elliot, the tip of the iceberg. People may see us, wow, you've done over 160 episodes, you've done this, you've done that, you've done, now you're doing the Public Speaking Experts podcast, you're planning on launching a book together next year, plus whatever else that comes to mind that may happen, because we both are creative and always looking to make new things happen to benefit our audiences and grow our businesses. And there is, and we already touched on this, there is a heck of a lot of work on a daily basis. I speak more to Elliot than to my wife, and I think it's the same the other way around on many occasions. And we have a small team at this point, but we have a small team working daily to have all of the things, regarding the podcast ready. They are incredible. Rashmi, Regina, thank you so much. Big time. You're amazing. And creating and promoting the show, the Elliot and Jose Show daily, creating the rooms, engaging with the speakers, reaching out to speakers to come to our podcast as well. And it takes effort. It takes effort. It takes some disagreements sometimes. The beautiful thing is wanting to make it work is the difference that makes a difference.
Right. And it is, it's about the longevity. And I think that's what it is. And, if we talk about our shows on Clubhouse, some shows we've had lots, some shows we have little. And it's interesting, is it? Because every time we have a small show, people really open up to the impact we've had on them versus the big shows. So it's almost like when we look at the numbers, which we don't do very often and we avoid as much as we can, it's those ones when we have the smaller shows, it's when we're reminded why we do what we do. And I think that's the important part. And I think if you've got a solid foundation and a big picture and a desire to be in for the long term, that's a powerful relationship. And then you sprinkle fun into it, you sprinkle growth, and heading somewhere exciting, then you'll end up somewhere really, really interesting. And most people build partnerships on a buzz, and the buzz goes away. And then the reality, it's a bit like a date, right? First 3 dates, they smell delicious. Their breath doesn't smell and they don't fart. But then after 3 dates, they got morning breath and their farts stink. Not I've ever smelled Jose's farts, I'm glad to say. So that's the point I'm making is reality sets in. And unless there's a strong bond, and unless fundamentally behind all of that is ultimate trust in each other, right? Then it's not going to work. And that's how you build a powerful partnership. Trust, vision, longevity, growth, thinking, moving together, great communication. And that goes both ways, when things are great and when things aren't great, to express yourself. Letting the wives know that they will probably spend less time with them and more with your partner. No, that just happened. And, banter helps. Good, healthy banter helps. And that's what creates a powerful partnership.
Brother, I haven't got anything else to say on that point. What I would like to do is, are we going to? Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I think are we wrapping it up, or are you going to give me one of the sounds or the effects or something, or not yet? Or is there one coming? I don't know. What are we doing next? You lost me for a moment. Boom.
Let's wrap up.
Partnerships, if you look at it from a marketing perspective, is one of the pieces of marketing. That's how important that is from a business standpoint. So work on your partnerships. Look openly for partnership opportunities. Have that lens on every now and then. Who can I partner up with? Together, we are stronger. Elliot and I potentially couldn't be having the same impact we have on our communities by, I don't know how that last word sounded. Anyway, communities, if we would have done it by ourselves. We're having impact on different communities and different things, and we run our businesses separately as well. And at the same time, doing this together is very powerful. So as I said before, invest.